The Utah Mammoth is sorta proud to present NASHCAST.
What the is a NASHCAST?
NASHCAST, the only hockey show on the planet. Hosted by a human speed bag, fourth line wannabe, healthy scratch, schnozzy moto, Tyson Nash.
Who the hell is Tyson Nash?
Never heard of him.
And the baritone with a brain, the velvet hammer, Mr. Silky, Tono Suave, the radio voice of your Utah Mammoth,
Code Blue!
Mike Folta.
Oh, Captain, my Captain!
NASHCAST begins now.
Ready for takeoff.
Here's Tyler Ganoush and Mickey Foghorn. Wait, what? Oh, here's Tyson Nash and Mike Folta.
Feeling good, folks. Feeling good. I don't know where you are, but it looks sunny, buddy. I'm guessing it's a sunny day when you have a comeback like the Mammoth had the other night. Are you kidding me, buddy? I want to know where you're at, what you got going on. I'm finally back in Arizona. I was in New York doing some Amazon stuff. I literally froze my boobies off. It was cold out there, buddy. It was cold. So I'm back in the sunshine. I'll be poolside today in the Speedo. So I cannot wait to get the tan back in full effect because we got some NASHCAST coming up, buddy, sooner than later. But what's going on, buddy? Tell me about that game. You were front and center in Pittsburgh. I literally pulled my hamstring jumping off the couch. I was so fired up to see that come back.
Hold on, let me check the stationery here. Boston, we're in Boston, so this is it's in the middle of a road trip here for Utah. We're recording this before the Mammoth play Boston on Tuesday, and then they got Detroit on Wednesday when this releases. But we're fresh off that insane. I mean, could you say period of the year for the Utah Mammoth? They score 4 goals in the span of 6 minutes, the quickest 4 goals that Utah has scored this year. And they storm back to beat a Pittsburgh team that is saying deja vu. Like it just happened to them the day before. Nasher, they gave up a 5-1 lead to the San Jose Sharks the day before Utah came in and came back from a 3-0 deficit in the third. I was talking with some of the Pittsburgh folks after the game on Sunday afternoon, and they were saying as soon as Utah got that first goal to make it 3-1 in the third period, they're like, it's over. It's over. We lost. They're winning 3-1. And that's what they were saying. Like it's gone. It's over. And what do you know? Utah came back. Gunther with the OT winner. It was a happy flight. I'll tell you that.
Oh, I bet. I bet. And a game like that, Foltz, and against a team like that, like it's not like you're playing the Sharks. I mean, this is a rejuvenated Pittsburgh Penguins team with guys like Crosby and Malkin and Letang and Carlson. They have some weapons. So that is that much bigger of a mountain to climb when you're, I mean, I saw Sidney Crosby out there numerous times on a few of those goals, right? And I'm like, how does that happen against a team like that and leaders like that, as we know? But we also know, and I've been a part of those games, Foltz, and I know things are up and down with the Utah Mammoth like they are for a lot of teams around the National Hockey League, but a win like that, a comeback like that galvanizes a group. That can be a springboard effect to go on an absolute run. So for the Utah Mammoth, you got to find a way. You got a ton of confidence, ton of good juju right now. You're feeling good. You're looking good. Big comeback. Now pay it off with another big victory.
Yeah, and I want to get to an Edmonton guy in just a sec, Dylan Gunther. But you're an Edmonton guy, and what have you lost the thick blood already? Like you're a full Southerner. You can't handle the cold anymore. Does that make you sad? Like, do you ever wish, like, okay, come on, like I'm from Edmonton, I should be able to handle this. But now look at you. You're a full desert dog.
Yeah, I know. I gotta kind of give him a squeeze every once in a while, see if I still have any down there because. I don't like the cold anymore, Foltz. It's chilly. The blood has thinned out. Yeah, I got to toughen up a little bit, but I don't miss it. I love traveling. I love flying in and then getting the hell out, right? And then getting back into the sunshine. This body and this face, I don't know if it needs any more sunshine, but it was built for the sunshine, buddy.
This is hockey weather. We saw we had Utah Mammoth guys pushing cars out of the snow in Pittsburgh. Do you see that, Nasher? It was Ole Mata, Barrett Hayden. Who else was out there? I think maybe Karks and Ian Cole. I could be butchering that. I know at least Hayden and Mata for sure. But they were literally pushing cars like out of the way so the bus could get to the rink. You ever have to shovel snow or push cars or buses out of the snow in your travels?
Oh, buddy, we used to do it all. That actually did happen to us before. We all got out as a team. I think we were in Detroit one day. I mean, it was it was totally fun. So you knew there was good karma coming, right? For the crew. Right. You just knew. So no good deed, buddy, goes unnoticed. So it was super cool to see that. I know social media has taken to that clip in a big way, and they paid it off with a big victory. Dylan Guenther, what more can you say about Guenther? Just big goal after big goal. It was last year. It was again this year. So that contract is looking awfully good for Dylan Guenther and the Utah Mammoth.
Yeah, that's the Edmonton kid I wanted to talk about. And I remember last year in January when the Penguins came to the Delta Center, Sidney Crosby, I can still see it in my mind's eye. Sidney Crosby jumped off the ice in overtime or jumped off the bench. And as soon as he jumped off the bench and skated into the play, like, I just knew the game was over. The puck was coming to him. He was coming with speed into the slot. He pulled it to the backhand and scored. Overtime winner for the Penguins. But because it was Crosby, because it was 87, you just had this feeling that he's going to score in that moment. And I'm not in any way comparing Dylan Guenther to Sidney Crosby, but I get that same feeling in the crucial moments when the game is on the line and when the puck comes to number 11. I get that same feeling that he's going to score, and he keeps delivering over and over again. He's got 3 overtime winners this year. He had a bunch of overtime winners last year, 14 game winners, I believe it is, going back to the start of last year. I mean, do you also get that same feeling, Tyson, when he gets the puck in those big moments?
Yeah. I mean, it goes all the way back to World Junior. I mean, the guy scores the game-winning goal overtime to clinch the gold medal for Team Canada. And I watched this kid for the Edmonton Oil Kings back when he played in the Western Hockey League. It's all this guy does. The bigger the moment, the better he plays. And, those guys are something special. When you're a scout, you're looking for players like that, right? That can do it. Because if you can do it at that level, it's just in them, right? I played with guys like that: Pierre Turgeon, Pavel Demitra, Keith Tkachuk, Doug Weight, Chris Pronger. Like, those were guys in those moments that you just knew. You're like, here you go, Prongs, go get it done. And they would. Scott Niedermayer, another guy I played with. I mean, so I've seen those guys in my career, and now watching from afar, from my couch or in the rink at the Delta Center, you look for those guys. And Logan Cooley would be another one of those guys that scores big goals. Clayton Keller. And, that's what excites you about being a Utah Mammoth fan, right? And again, I just hope that they can go now and pay it off and go on a run, because they need to. And as much as they've struggled, Fultz, and I know you're right there in the fire, you're seeing it firsthand, but they're right in the picture. I mean, as bad as they have played in the last, month and a half, they are still right there. A couple big wins, and they're above 500, and they're back in the wild card.
Yeah, and kind of everybody's in that spot right now in the NHL, where so many teams, right, in that mushy middle. And, you've got Connor Hellebuck of the Jets, who's out due to injury. Edmonton scuffling at the start of the year. This is the time where you have to make some hay right now. And I think Utah has a lot of the really hard scheduling bits behind it. Schedule's still pretty tight all the way up till Christmas, but I think if the Mammoth are just in the fight at Christmas time, like, the schedule is going to be a lot more favorable after the new year. And so hopefully that's when the team can make a run. But kind of getting to some other news, Tyson, we got to talk about the Quinn Hughes trade. Hughes goes from the Vancouver Canucks to the Minnesota Wild, one of the best players in the league. He's got another year left on his contract after this year. Back the other way to Vancouver goes Marco Rossi, Zeev Buium, former first-round pick, a first-round pick of Minnesota, and then a prospect as well. But when you first saw this, Tyson, what did you think?
Well, you digest the whole deal, right? And the fact that Billy Guerin swinging for the fences for his club, right? I think he has to think giving up what he gave up for Quinn Hughes, and it was quite a bit of their future, right? A little bit of their now, but a lot of their future. Um, which you have drafts that you can recoup and do all those things because there's only one chance really in a GM's lifespan with an organization that you get a chance to get a player like Quinn Hughes. And he, in my mind, is the second best defenseman behind Cale Makar.
Right.
But he is a difference maker. He's a Norris Trophy winner. This guy is as good as it gets on the blue line. He almost plays like a fourth forward, the way he jumps up into the rush, all the things, right? We know all that stuff. But the fact that he's got an extra year in his deal gives them a bigger runway, right? With Quinn Hughes. And I think Billy Guerin thinks that he can really, convince him and get him signed if they can come up with the dollars to make a contract work, right? So, that would be the ultimate play for Billy Guerin and the Minnesota Wild. Whether that happens or not, we all know in the National Hockey League, he wants to play with his brothers, with the Devils. But can they come up with the money? So lots of moving parts to this deal, but right now it looks pretty darn good for the Minnesota Wild. But for the Vancouver Canucks, how does that feel? I've been on the other side of that, right? When you lose your star player, your cornerstone piece after what happened last year with the JT Miller, Pedersen deal, the soap opera, a nightmare. And now you lose your captain and your best player. You got to be sitting there, if you're a Canuck, looking around the locker room going, what the hell just happened? Like the season's over. Like it's literally over, right? I mean, so, but you look at what they had to do. They were losing Quinn Hughes, whether they like it or not. He was going to be gone, so they tried to recoup as much as they could. So I think it's been a good trade for both sides.
Yeah, I think both sides are allowed to be happy, and I think it really hinges around what Zeev Buium becomes. I don't think he's going to be a Quinn Hughes, but he's had a really good start to his first full season. He jumped in with Minnesota last year in the playoffs. Like, you don't see that a lot. Guys coming right out of college. Cale Makar did that, though, and I don't think people are expecting Zeev Buium to be Cale Makar, but he could be a number one defenseman in this team's future. He's only 20 or 21, I think it is. So if he turns into that number one D-man, then I think you're feeling pretty good about it when you add on those other assets as well. If you're Vancouver, a little bit of a bummer we didn't get to see Quinn play against his brothers because Vancouver was in New Jersey and Quinn was hanging out with Luke and with Jack. And Tyson, did you see that he left his gear in, was it Luke's car or Jack's car or something like that? They had to hurry and fly it back across the country to Minnesota.
I did see that. I'm still curious how his equipment ended up in his car, but that's beside the fact. I'm a little out of the loop. I was having myself a day yesterday, buddy, at Whisper Rock, one of the finest golf courses in America. So I was having myself a day. I played out of my absolute mind, but I've been trying to keep track of some of these stories, all the moves. You guys were just in Pittsburgh. I mean, Jari to Edmonton, Skinner to Pittsburgh.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on that one? What do you think of that trade? That was a head scratcher for me because I know Jari's having a great year this year. I don't know if he's 10-2-1 or what his record is, but he's had a couple rough years, right? A lot like Skinner. Yeah. So for me, it was kind of a lateral move, maybe a good opportunity to, give Skinner a fresh start because he's been absolutely roasted over the coals the last couple of years for his play in the playoffs.
Yeah, that news came down right before we got into Pittsburgh to play the Penguins this past weekend. And if you're watching or listening to this, by this time, we will have seen Edmonton play Pittsburgh. That was last night as you're watching this Tuesday night, which we're expecting that to be Jari versus Skinner. We thought we were going to see Skinner in a Penguins uniform on Sunday afternoon, but immigration issues kind of pushed that back for Skinner and Kulak. I think it was a great move by the Penguins. They get a contract that they didn't like, the Jari contract, off their books. He was making just under $6 million, and you're getting basically two players for that same price. Kulak, who is a sturdy defenseman, he was playing 23 and a half minutes for Edmonton last year in their cup run. Hasn't been the same player since this year, so I think a change of scenery could be good for him. But you get a guy who was a really key piece for Edmonton the last couple of years when the Oilers were successful in the Western Conference. And then you bring in Stuart Skinner, who has had success at times. I know, like, it hasn't all been there for him or for Calvin Pickard or for anybody in Edmonton to start the year. But I feel the same as you, where goaltending wise, between Jari and Skinner, pretty comparable, especially when you look at postseason numbers. I mean, they both have heard the same complaints from their respective fan bases. Decent regular seasons, can't get it done in the playoffs. You look at their playoff numbers, they both stack up almost identical, both sub 900 save percentages in the postseason. And so if you're the Edmonton Oilers, you potentially just walked into the exact same thing for a worse price. Now, I do get it. Like, at some point you have to change something if it's not working for Edmonton, but on paper, I think the move is far better for Pittsburgh than it is for Edmonton.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And this has always been a head scratcher for me, not so much Pittsburgh, but for the Edmonton Oilers. I mean, how many years have they gone into the playoffs with the two best players on the planet, and you don't have a goalie? You literally don't have a goalie. I remember they went in the playoffs and Skinner was a rookie at that time, and they're going to ride this kid's coattails. I mean, and we saw how that worked out. It didn't, right? And yes, they've made some runs. My goodness. I mean, the Cup finals 2 years in a row, but they just don't have a goalie to get them over the top. And I think they had opportunities back in the day. Even you bring in a Jonathan Quick. I know he's old, but I still think he could have been a guy that, has that experience, and he's still getting it done. He's still piling up wins and playing really well between the pipes. Darcy Kemper. Everyone in the league could have got Darcy Kemper after he won a cup with Colorado. I mean, think of that. And they didn't. And right now, Darcy Kemper is, I think, one of the best goaltenders in our league today, right? He's been in the conversation for Team Canada as their goalie. So, again, that's going to be really looked at as well. Team Canada, the Olympics, some of the injuries that we're seeing. Bedard now hurt. I think out of the young kids, Celebrini is still the only man standing right now. So it's going to be interesting, decisions to be made, and injuries are going to play a massive part into what Doug Armstrong, is going to do. And then the other fun fact is you got Armstrong, right? He's a GM for the St. Louis Blues. How does he not put Binnington, at least give him that first opportunity? Yes, he's going to be on a short leash because it's a short tournament situation, and then you got John Cooper. I mean, the coach of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Who does he not bring? Point does not belong on Team Canada right now, but he's also a big cog to the Tampa Bay Lightning moving forward. How pissed off is he if he doesn't play for Team Canada? And he deserves to play for Team Canada for what he's done in the past. We know how he can contribute, all the things, right?
Yeah.
Hagel's another guy, so they have some tough decisions to make, but it's tough when you have Cooper and Armstrong with teams in play.
Tyson, how does your country not figure out the goaltending? Like, this is Canada here, and we're still trying to figure out who's going to be the goalie. Binnington was amazing last year in the Four Nations. This year he has an 869 save percentage.
Tough.
As we record right now, that is terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Are you doing is it malpractice to throw him out there, or are you crazy if you don't throw him out there because he has been so good in these big moments?
Yeah, I think you're crazy if you don't, right? You saw last year at Four Nations, he was not as bad, but he wasn't having an all-star type season, right? But boy, did he show up in a big way. So, and for Team USA, I mean, you guys are in the same boat. You got Hellebuck. Yes. Is he going to be your guy? I mean, I don't really, it's hard to say. Is he going to be healthy? Can he get it done? So lots of, I'm just so excited. I cannot wait. And they better have that rink ready. Like, that is an absolute shame that we're even talking about this right now. So, and if it's not, and I agree with Spittin' Chicklets and Paul Bissonnette, bring it back to the US or Canada, just sell it out everywhere. Play in Dallas, play in Chicago, play in New York if it's available, which I'm sure it's not. But can you imagine? Like, that would be insane. But what a miss right now for the committee there at the Olympics.
I mean, I feel like at the end, the hockey is going to be so incredible that we're not even going to remember this snafu. But on the onset of this, it does still seem utterly ridiculous. What do you think of Tom Wilson for Team Canada, Tyson? Like last year, the physicality was so important. The ability to play both sides of the puck was so important. And, maybe you worry about Tom Wilson, like running a guy and putting you on the penalty kill, but he's one of those players that it's hard to imagine winning without, I feel like.
Well, you throw him into the mix. You got Sam Bennett as well, who's on fire once again. Had a real slow start to the year, a lot like Braden Point. Those guys bring the sandpaper, and Wilson is a guy who plays on the edge, and he can pull it back a little bit if need be. But he's still, even when he's not that guy, he can still contribute. He can score. I mean, this guy's a 30-goal scorer in the National Hockey League. He can play with good players. So I think he's an automatic to be on that list. And I think if you're Team USA, you're hoping he's not on that list. That's where I go to, right? I'm like, if I'm on the other team, who do I not want to play against?
Sure.
I don't want to play against Marchand. I don't want to play against Bennett. And I want Wilson staying home. Oh, yeah, he's going to take bad penalties. Please keep him home, right? No. You bring him. The guy is an absolute menace, and I say it every show. Every GM and every scout is looking for a Sam Bennett and is looking for a Tom Wilson right now. And I do have to say one more thing.
USA, I want.
Yes. Patrick Mahomes. Are you kidding me? Oh, my good God. Like torn ACL. I'm sorry, I'm way off topic, but I couldn't sleep last night. I was just tossing and turning. Kelsey, the way he hit the wall as he exited the field and went back to the locker room. Is this the last we're going to see of Travis Kelsey? And my God, Patrick Mahomes, I was in tears. I'm just looking for a little love, folks. I'm just looking for a little help.
Are you a Chiefs fan?
Oh, dude. You don't know that? Come on.
What?
And by the way, I got to ask you, I never asked you, Matt McConnell.
Why are you a Chiefs fan?
Oh, dude, I played in St. Louis. I hated the Rams, the fastest show on turf, whatever they called it, but they didn't treat us very well.
What is it, like 3 hours away?
Yeah. So I was like, what's another team? What's another team I can cheer for? And they were garbage back then. Like Gonzalez, they were terrible back then. And I was the biggest fan. My brother got me into it. We'd go to every home opener to start the year. It's always Denver Broncos versus the Chiefs. And me and my brother would be there along with my dad sometimes. And I became a Chiefs fan. And now, I mean, I've had an awful lot to cheer about, folks. So it's been fun. But we had some lean years. But I was going to say, you were just in Pittsburgh. I know you're in Boston now. Was Matt McConnell actually looking for that statue of his that he thinks went up?
Yeah, he found it. He found it out back by the dumpster. I think were like crawling over and stuff. It was actually just like a McDonald's wrapper or something. But he still got some connections there. He still got some cachet from those 3 years in the 90s. I just got a text from him. Like literally right now.
Oh, lucky you. What's he want you to pay his hotel bill?
Yeah, he's like, hey, you owe me $30 from for those IPAs last night. No, this is he's texting me about the Michigan State quarterback that transferred. So that's mostly our group chat. It's just like different ways that our respective colleges suck at football. But
I'm jealous, folks. I know you're in Boston right now, and I'm so jealous. That's one of my favorite cities on the circuit. You better hit the North End tonight, buddy. You better hit it, and better hit it hard. Some good wine. You got to go to one of those mafia restaurants. I can't remember the name of it, but they got all the mafia movies playing on every screen around the restaurant and bar. It is so old school, but I hope you enjoy it, folks. And yeah, hey, we got to get to this guest, and this was a long time coming for me. I idolized this guy growing up. I'm a huge golfer. I'm a big fan. I'm a terrible golfer also, but this guy is as good as it gets. If you're a Canadian, won the green jacket. Tiger Woods, think of that. Tiger Woods put the green jacket on this man, Mike Weir. So it was a pleasure. We had him in studio. He is the biggest Utah Mammoth hockey fan. I can tell you that. He's got 4 or 6 season tickets. in the lower bowl there. So he is front and center, loving this team, everything about it. We went for cocktails after the interview as well. And he just wanted to talk hockey. He just wanted to talk shop and how good this team's going to be and when they're going to be ready to take that next step. So the guy's Canadian, obviously, but he has never left Salt Lake after going to BYU. So I hope everyone enjoys it, Fultz.
All right, we are back, and we are dressed for the occasion here tonight. We are with our good buddy, Mike Weir, one of the biggest hockey fans in Utah, by the way. And this is the resume. This is what we're dealing with here today.
I'm well aware, but let him know.
Yeah, you golfed with him twice, but I grew up idolizing this guy, by the way. I'm a huge golfer, terrible golfer, but this is what this guy's done. 467 events. He's got 8 tour wins. Am I right?
Yep.
This is like AI stuff. So like
8 tour wins.
You don't
tied for most, right?
60,
Yep, for Canadian.
69 top 10s, runner-up 10 times, and we're not done there. Canada Male Athlete of the Year 3 times, Order of Ontario 2004, Order of Canada 2009, and he built the Mike Weir Foundation in 2004. He's giving back, folks.
Thanks.
Mike Weir, thanks for
Tyson.
being here, brother.
Thanks a lot for coming.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks. It's awesome to have
Yeah,
you.
great to be here.
You know what? I'll kick it off
Kick
because
it off.
I don't know the
Yeah.
answer to this question. We'll bring it back a little bit. We're sitting here in Utah. How did you end up at BYU? You're an East Coast guy. This is out in the West. Run me through that.
I was looking, to play college golf in the U.S. and back then no emails or anything, and I had written a bunch of letters. My dad helped me write a bunch of letters to colleges in the U.S. and Coach Tucker at BYU down in Provo was one of the coaches that kept the correspondence going with me, and I qualified for the U.S. Junior in Colorado in 1987. And along with Brendan Little, who's a big hockey guy who caddies for Gary Woodland on the tour, he and I both qualified through we qualified through the Michigan section. We got the 2 spots. We stayed with his family, got billeted out there, and anyways, played pretty good. And Coach Tucker kept that correspondence and said, "Hey, why don't you come out for a visit to Provo?" And I came out on a weekend when there was a BYU football game, 65,000 people in the stadium. Beautiful mountains and coming out, coming from Sarnia. I was like, oh my goodness, this is pretty good. So the other schools I looked at was nothing compared to Provo. So yeah, it was an easy decision.
Pretty good golfer. Did you ever play hockey growing up? You're a Canadian.
Yeah.
Sarnia, Ontario, you play hockey.
Oh yeah, I played. I mean, I wasn't very good. I mean, I loved the game. Played all the way through high school. Just love it. Sarnia, we got a pretty good tradition, some good players, Cicerellis and the Hunter brothers. The Hunter brothers are nearby, and I've grown up around it, loved it, miss playing and miss being amongst you guys and the team atmosphere. When you're in an individual sport, you kind of miss that camaraderie and
the boys.
Yeah, it's the boys.
The hot stove.
Yeah, exactly. You're kind of golf, you're so into your own thing, where a team sport like hockey, you're into yourself and you got to work on your individual game, but it's about the team. So I miss that about hockey.
Team sport, you can hide too. Golf, golf.
You can't hide.
No.
You can't blame it on
can't.
the goalie sucks. You can't do that. How long did you play? I'm assuming you played hockey in the winters, and then obviously it was golf in the summers.
Yep.
How long did you take? Did you keep that? Like, how long? When did you stop playing hockey, and when did golf? Kind of become the thing.
What serious travel hockey probably stopped for me when I was 15, and then I knew I wasn't going to go anywhere with it. So I still played high school hockey and house league and stuff like that. But golf kind of took over at about 15, and that became the main focus, and kind of ran with it from there.
So how does that happen being a Canadian? I mean, hockey's our game, right?
Yeah.
Golf not so much, right? I mean, just because of the weather, right? I mean, you're in Sarnia, Ontario. It's cold.
It is.
So you're spending 8 months frozen,
Yep.
and then you got a few more months to play golf. How do you get so good?
Obviously, like you said, it was just summer sport. Right. And my dad, from the time I was probably 15, he dropped a net in our garage, and I would hit balls in the net in our garage. But other than that, it was just summer sport. And then when I came out to BYU, it became a little more year-round. And my career was just kind of a progression. I was a decent college player, but by the time I was a senior, I was pretty good. And same with my pro career. Early, I wasn't very good, and it took me 5 or 6 years to kind of get my way and finally get on the tour. I was playing mini tours, Canadian Tour, Australia, Asia, wherever I could play for 5 or 6 years before I got on the PGA Tour. So it was a slow climb up the ranks. It wasn't like some guys right out of college that are making their mark on the PGA Tour right now. So I think I think what helped me was hockey because it made me a better rounded athlete.
Right.
But probably didn't get the reps in at an early age like a lot of the kids today.
So you were a late bloomer?
I was a late bloomer for sure.
I like that. I like that story.
Probably like, my first year on tour I was 28. I was 28, so I was
I didn't know that.
6 years out of college. Like I said, playing Canadian Tour, Australia, Asia.
How do you
just
stick with that? How do you keep grinding? I mean,
Yeah.
it had to have been just demoralizing at times, right?
It was.
You're booking your own tickets. That's what people don't get, right? They see the end result, they see the PGA Tour, but they
Yep.
don't know, like us, they don't know the grind, right? The summers,
Totally.
the training, all the things that go on behind the scenes. How
Yep.
did you stay with it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I had an inner perseverance that I just believed that somehow I was gonna find my way on the PGA Tour. I didn't know how, but I just had I had a belief system, and I saw guys that, when playing the Canadian Tour and playing Australia, and they weren't working real hard. They were chasing girls and drinking too much and doing that. And it can happen.
Guy drove an Uber car
It can happen.
just to meet girls, for God's sake.
That didn't work either.
So yeah, I don't know. I just kind of stuck with it and kept working on my weaknesses, and my strength were my short game, chipping and putting. I was an okay ball striker, but I knew I needed to kind of work on that, and found a good coach early in my career, and kind of just kept chipping away at some things I knew I needed to work on, and started clicking. It took time though. It took those 3 or 4 years of just kind of getting by, just making enough to get to the next tournament, and living out of my car basically.
Wow.
Basically lived out of my car for 4 years.
Wow.
Had a clothes rack against the in the
No
bag,
way.
and just traveled and just tried and grinded.
Wow.
I read 2 things today. That's the internet, but I'm assuming there's something to it. So my 2 questions I have a lot of questions. I wrote everything down, but when you were younger, not to back it up too far, but when you were younger, because you're left-handed, obviously.
Yep.
Did somebody try and tell you to go play right-handed? And was there a pivotal moment when you met Jack Nicklaus?
Yeah, there was. I think
Maybe those go hand in hand. I don't know.
Yeah, they go hand in hand. I think what I saw, I went to my first Canadian Open. It was the early 80s. Nicholas came and played a little exhibition match with our head pro, Steve Bennett. I believe it was like 82. I was 12 years old, and I saw Jack Nicklaus up close as a 12-year-old. And then later that summer, I went to my first Canadian Open, and the only left-handed player there was a guy named Ernie Gonzalez. Everybody else was right-handed, and I thought to myself, well, looks like you got to be right-handed to be a tour player, right?
Yeah, fair enough, yeah.
I had seen Jack, and I went back, talked to my dad, and my dad's, I don't know how we came up with the idea, but I wrote Jack a letter, and I think he was writing articles for like Golf Magazine. So I just wrote this letter, Jack, I'm an aspiring player. I want to be a professional golfer one day, but I'm left-handed. Should I switch?
Yeah.
And then I sent it in care of Golf
Handwritten
Digest.
letter.
Handwritten
Wow.
letter.
Mailed it in.
And just said, attention, Jack Nicklaus to Golf Digest, let's say it was. And sure enough, a couple months later, I get a letter back saying, no, Mike, I believe you should stick to what's natural for you. The fundamentals apply to the left side as well as right. Just keep working on your fundamentals and keep working on it. And so
cool is that?
made the decision. If he would have told me probably to switch to right-handed, maybe, which a lot of dads did back in the day,
There's no left-handed clubs.
Yeah, there was
and they're
left-handed
still
clubs
not
were tough.
easy to get. And I'm sure
Yeah.
back then it was.
Oh, it was really
next
hard.
to impossible.
Next, I got my first sand wedge, I think, when I was 14, 15 years old, maybe. I won a gift certificate in a junior tournament for some merchandise in the shop, and I went in there, and there was a Gene Sarazen Wilson sand wedge, and it was the first left-handed sand wedge I'd ever seen.
That's
So it's like,
Unreal.
it is a while ago, but it's not that long ago.
Sure.
It was hard to find, like, to go in a shop and see a putter or a set of irons or something like that. It was difficult. Now it's not, but it was back then.
Well, it still is. I mean, you can't find a
Yeah,
left-handed
it's hard.
putter. I mean,
It's hard.
they discriminate against us. I putt left. I now hit right, and I'm bad both ways, so don't get me
I
started.
think
but-
maybe you should write Jack a letter. He should get back to you.
Yeah,
He
he ain't
swings
getting
the
back
club
to me.
right-handed. Don't you?
Oh, I switched.
We don't need to talk about
Yeah,
your golf
no,
game,
we don't.
but yeah,
We
it
don't
goes
at
back
all.
and forth.
So a great story. So I got young kids. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona,
Yep.
and I'm doing daddy daycare, right? I'm doing all the things. I get a call from Brian Savage, and he goes, Tyson, get over here. We're going to drink some red wine. I'm like, okay, you don't have to tell me twice. I've been watching kids all day, right? I got snot over my shoulders. I've been, doing it all, right? So I show up. Brian Savage lives a couple houses down the road in a cul-de-sac. I show up at this house, and the net's out, and they're playing street hockey, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. The kids are flying around. Why, look, it's this guy, Mike Weir, playing with all our kids, right?
Yeah.
But he's playing with them all. He's got a glass of red wine. He just won the Fries Open in Arizona, and here it is. There's Mike.
Oh, there's
there it
Savvy,
is.
yeah.
With Ryan Savage and Red Savage.
That's all
and
red.
There's Brian, who you played.
I played a lot of junior golf with Savvy. Was a good junior golfer for sure.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, he was a good player.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a story. But
Yeah.
that was your way, kind of giving back. I mean, I know we have another picture here, I think. You're holding the wine glass. Your teeth were completely purple. You were celebrating, as you should have been, right? But that was a big
fun.
moment for you.
It was. That was my last tour win.
Really?
Was that event, the Fries, in 2007 over at Savvy. So we had a big night at Savvy's that night, for sure.
What was your first tour win?
First tour win was in Canada, the Air Canada Championship.
Okay. Where was that?
That was at a place called Northview in Surrey.
Okay. Yeah.
And it only had a run of probably 7-8 years, the Air Canada Championship, and then funding or whatever. But it was a great event. Players loved to go there, and it was electric. I holed a shot coming down the stretch and made a big putt, like on about 16 or something, and to have your first win happen in Canada it was really cool.
Do you remember? I know you remember, but the hard hats. I was part of that group too. Oh, we got a big goal finally.
Finally got one.
Boys are on the board.
There we go.
2-1. Was Montreal one of your favorite teams growing up?
Yeah, I mean, growing up close to the border in Michigan, I was a Red Wings guy. But, I got to spend quite a bit of time around the Montreal organization last year with the President's Cup being in Montreal.
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
That was on my list to ask you about, too. But
Yeah, so it was great. Got to know Nick Suzuki and Cole a little bit and Marty St. Louis and, went to their alumni golf tournament and met Rocket Richard.
We were out with Marty last night.
Yeah, Marty was out last night.
Just
he's
had
great.
a couple
beers,
cocktails. Just to
Good Canadian boy.
loosen the lips up.
Loosen them up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Detroit was my team. Detroit was the team that I followed growing up.
I don't like you as much now. I hate Detroit. They knocked us out of the playoffs too many times. But I was going to say, the Waste Management Omen, I think it was the Phoenix Open there for a while, but we had the hard hats on. I mean, we would be on, I think it was 18 we'd stand on, and every time you'd come by, we would sing "Oh Canada," and he would just give us the thumbs up. Right? I mean, how cool was that? That was
great.
A pretty good moment,
it was great. Now that, obviously it's huge, that event now, but it was a little more low-key then. It was still a big party, but you could kind of
see us back then.
Yeah, exactly. I could spot you guys.
Yeah, the nose kind of gave it away for me. It's like, that guy's got an elbow on his face. What is that thing?
I mean, we got these jackets on, 03 Masters. I wouldn't have to ask some questions about that. I was going through it. I had forgot that that you won in a playoff. And if I was, and I think I read, well, I remember watching it, and I think, was it the last year that they had the playoff on 10? Was that right or no?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think if there's been playoffs since.
It was one of the last ones, I think, because now it goes to 18.
It goes to 18,
I think it's been like that for a while, but I guess just in general, I would say, like, obviously you were in the mix the whole time, and I think Len went bananas the last
Sunday. Yeah, he kind of came from shot 65 or something.
Yeah, it went super
65.
low.
He did.
I guess just in general, kind of, maybe at what point did you think this could like actually happen? I'm sure it was maybe. I mean, I'm sure you're going into the tournament, but like maybe first round, second round, and just like maybe a memory or two that sticks with you from that.
Yeah, well, yeah, I did get off to a good start, so I was in contention right out of the gate, and had a lot of confidence going in there. I'd won a couple times early in the year, so I had a lot of momentum. And but yeah, you never know in those things. But I was tied for the lead going into the final round, and you tee off about 3 o'clock, so you have that whole morning to think about it and waste some time. And it's heavy. And I remember I was staying. Actually, my friends and family are at this house, and I was staying in a hotel. And I just went for a walk. Went for about an hour walk. I parked in the spot where there was no one around.
Because you didn't walk enough on the course.
Yeah, so I just wanted to kind of get my thoughts and just kind of put my head right. That I just felt confident because I had the other wins early in the year, and so yeah, it was a phenomenal Sunday too.
We're looking at a picture across the room there. Tiger Woods putting that green jacket on. My goodness, what was that like?
Oh, it was great. It was, Tiger and I have had a great relationship, great banter back and forth over the years, and you know, for him to put that jacket on me was really cool and special, and he was awesome.
Picture.
He was awesome about it, and congratulated me a lot, and yeah, it was great.
One of
Go ahead.
my favorite parts of this show is a Nash Crasher. So we
Okay.
got, we got a special guest that wants to join us here and say a quick hello to you. I think you might know this guy pretty darn well.
Nash Crasher.
Yeah, the old Nash Crasher.
Oh, Butchie! I love it. I already bought you up, Butchie. I was always talking about our junior days in Colorado when they were asking how I got to BYU. I said we won the qualifier in Michigan and got to play in that event, that junior in Colorado that, you know, met the coaches out there.
Oh yeah. So we do maybe back in the old Seaforth days.
Yeah, exactly.
Butchie, welcome to the show, buddy. And I know you're a hell of a golfer in your own right? You played in New Mexico State. Your favorite restaurant I saw is the Keg, which I love because you've been all around the world and you still love the Keg as your favorite restaurant. You can't take the Canadian out of you, but how did you guys come together?
They take it away from me. They just closed the one right by my house here in Dallas, so I'm a little disappointed.
The baseball sirloin is always top notch, but how did you and Mike become such a great, obviously it's like an old married couple, how much time you guys spent together on the road, but how did you guys become partners?
We've known each other since we were kids playing junior golf, and then we in college, and then we traveled together a little in the Asian tour for a bit, Canadian tour, and then my game kind of failed and his didn't, and you know, I was pretty much not going to play anymore, and he had gotten his tour card. He actually had it for a year, and he just asked me to become caddy, and had no idea how long I'd be doing or what I'd be doing, but still going, and it was a great run.
What was I'm interested on, because I've never been obviously a professional golfer, but for caddy-player relationships, were you pretty quiet? Did you guys go back and forth a lot? Oh, there we go.
2-2, baby!
2-2, we're back.
They're back! They're back. No surprise. The youngsters
I just live bet him at the end of the first.
Yamamoto this time.
You hear me? I just live bet him at the end of the first, down 2-0.
Now it's 2-2.
Mike's not going anywhere, by the way. Either are you, Butchie. We're coming back. So you guys are the good luck charm.
Yeah, that's it. I actually watched this team quite a bit. I think Tournier is a great coach. I was telling Weird we were talking a while ago. I've never met the guy, but I watched them with the Yotes, and when they were, you know, they're getting down quite often. He seems like he's really composed and had the Yotes playing pretty hard for not much talent. And now it's nice to see the team with some good players.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of good players, Butchie, what made Mike so special? What made him so good?
I think probably one is competitiveness, and then you know, he was really, really competitive, structured as far as routine, and obviously unbelievable short game, which he still has, and it pisses me off half the time when we play over in Hawaii or wherever we play. But I always tell guys he tries to give people a tipping lesson. I think he came out of the womb with a sandwich in his hand. So it
was that Saracen sandwich.
Oh, that's a great
It took him
pick.
forever to get it.
Great pick.
Yep.
So we go over to Hawaii at Christmas time and Gary's there, and we play these games. And every time Lizzie's back in the fairway, we stand up by the green and we have little bets. I'm like, $50 on inside. Usually our over/under is like 6 or 8 feet. You go 8 feet, nobody takes it. Take the under. So it's kind of funny. Every time and Gary loves, and Gary's always like, oh, watch this shot, watch that shot. I'm like, I know, I've seen it for 12 years. Seen 4,000 of them. So yeah, I think it's competitiveness, and you know, his strengths were obviously the short game, but he just, I've always called him a big overachiever. I don't think he, you know, he's a late developer, and it was, back then when he played, there was hardly any Canadians. We didn't have nearly the access of what they have now with indoor facilities and training, and so, you know, he was, most of our time, he was really the only, you know, top-notch tour player from Canada.
Butchie,
changed recently.
Butchie, I just asked Mike about just some memories from the '03 Masters. I'll ask you the same thing. I mean, is there a moment there during the tournament or something that you remember that stands out?
Well, I would say probably
Other
the
than
putt on
winning,
18.
obviously.
And then, definitely the putt on 18, and when Matisse hit it left on in the playoff. I do remember the ball call. I mean, I remember pretty clearly the ball rolling down there, and then the crowd going to. For some reason, I don't know why I remember that one. Oh, another one.
Another one. We got to keep you on there. Oh, fire.
There we go.
Now there's a fight.
That's not my nose, trust me.
Oh,
Not too happy.
Go.
Here we go.
Oh, it's getting chippy. We like this.
Oh,
That's
perfect.
what Kami likes right here.
Yeah.
You got the two Jack guys playing for the Habs, though. I don't know. You got anybody that can handle those two guys? Master?
No.
The short answer to that is no.
Not in the lineup tonight.
Yeah.
We need the spicy tuna in there.
Yeah, there's one guy, and I don't think he's playing.
Who's that?
Liam O'Brien.
He
Oh,
had-
yeah. You got O'Brien. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mike, I got to ask you a
Hey,
question.
don't keep too many of those.
Obviously,
Yeah, go ahead.
your caddy.
Yeah.
They're so important. But
Yeah.
you two, the relationship that you guys had, did you guys ever butt heads? Like, did you guys ever, like, no,
Oh, there's-
like, I'm not using that club. He's handing you this. You're like, no. Like,
I would say that I'm probably not the easiest to caddy for. I think I'm a little easier now, but probably in that day I was probably.
Really?
Oh yeah. Because I think just my intensity and my will to win, is my standard gets a little bit high. But Butchie was always great to let things roll, and he always kept things light, which was great. To talk about hockey,
Sure.
to talk about fishing, to do something to kind of lighten the moment,
So you don't get too.
Yeah,
you go
exactly.
the other way too.
In fact, I think I remember coming up the 17th hole on Sunday of Augusta, and we were, he said, hey, if you would have said at the beginning of the week you're going to be tied for the lead here, you would have taken that, right? And I said, yeah, absolutely. And he's like, then he switched it over. I think WWE wrestling. I think we talked about, maybe walking to AT&T, and it just kind of loosened me up. And I played the last hole great, and he was always great at that.
Butchie, you almost have to be a counselor, right, as a caddy, talking him off the edge. But how is Mike in those pressure cooker moments? We talked about some of the big moments, but was there some moments for you guys that obviously things kind of came off the rails that you had to get it back on?
Oh, we had some arguments over the years, like anything. I mean, at the end of the day, when you spend 7-8 hours with anyone, you're gonna have arguments, and he's competitive.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't think there's any player-caddy relationship, some more than others, that you're not going to have an argument at, some point. But, that's the way it goes, and roll on. I mean, I'd rather have a guy that cares and wants to win and has some fire in his belly than someone who just walks in after 9 holes sometimes and quits and doesn't really care. So, there's a point there that, you have to realize. I mean, any you know how it is. Any pro athlete, they've got an edge to them, and that's part of it. But we did talk a lot of wrestling, by the way.
Yeah, we did.
Back then, it was big
Wrestling
time
was.
wrestling.
Who was it?
I'm a huge wrestling fan.
Who was Mike's favorite wrestler? Bam Bam Bigelow or Hacksaw Jim Duggan?
I don't know who. Well, that was back. We had The Rock.
I used
we
to
had them all
like
back
The Rock.
then.
You loved The Rock. I like Jake the Snake Roberts.
Yeah.
That was
There
my,
we
yeah.
go.
Oh
Yeah, he's still around.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lex Luger used to live on the golf course in Atlanta
Lex Luger.
on number 9, and I was begging. Freddie actually Couples was a wrestling fan too, and we were playing one day, and he's like, "Let's go over to his house after," because he used to sit out on the balcony. Every time we walked up 9, I go, "Where's he? There's Lex."
Butchie, I don't want to bring up, you're saying you're a big wrestling fan. I know you're also, last time I saw you was in Maui. I was pretty plowed, but you guys came in after the tournament there at Kapalua, and you always have, and I notice when I see on TV, you always have the Jays logo. Are you okay? Are you over what just happened yet?
Oh, listen, I'm very, very disappointed, but it was a great year.
It was a great year, there's no question.
What's that?
I said it was a great year, no question, but that was a tough loss.
It was a tough way to lose.
too.
Hell of a year.
Yeah, they did play great, but
They
man,
played great. I mean,
everything but win.
They just signed Dylan
Everything
Cease, too,
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
A pitcher from San Diego, Dylan Cease. They just signed him 7 years, $210.
Wow.
The Jays just signed him?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay.
Butchie's
Just
part
happened.
part general manager for the Blue Jays.
Good.
full-time
Oh,
caddy?
I'm buddies. I go down to spring training when we're in Tampa. I know some of the minor league guys I'm buddies with. So yeah. No, there's not too many more. I'm a super fan in most sports now, but when it comes to the Jays, I can tell you everything about every team.
You get
all the way up.
I'm jumping around here a little bit, but you guys played in a tournament together, didn't you, just recently?
Yeah, the senior PGA.
Senior PGA. They put you guys together?
We didn't get paired together, no, but we should have because we both played awful.
I was going to ask how'd it go, but I did see. I'm just going to leave that one alone. But where was that at?
That was Congressional back in D.C. area.
Okay. You must just be dummying some of those. I mean, those senior tour. Are you 55?
55.
55. Yeah. You must just be bending some of those guys over. Like
you know what? It's tough out there. It's tough out there. Ernie's playing great.
Is he?
Oh yeah, those guys are still playing hard, playing great. I need to sharpen up here and get my act together next year. But no, the guys are still competitive out there, and shoot low scores, 3 rounds. It's a sprint. You have to get after it. The courses aren't quite as hard as the regular tour, so guys are shooting 5 to 7, 8 under every round.
Do you play back at the tip still?
Yeah, I mean, our course is probably, a short course might be 6,900 yards, and the long one might be like Firestone, where we play 7,300 yards or something like that. But you gotta make the putts, and you gotta score. You gotta get that scoring aspect down. Convert on the par 5s, all that kind of stuff. But if you shoot 1 or 2 under a day, you're gonna finish 40th.
You're gonna get lapped. I've been to the Calgary, to the Shaw. I've gone there like I've missed the last year or two, but I went for the first 4 or 5 years. These guys can play.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I mean, it's incredible. You played in that.
Yeah, I played that every year.
Bob Tway told me that was his favorite tournament on the Champions Tour, just because of the attendance and it was the closest thing to kind of like a PGA Tour.
It is, yeah. They do a great job out there in Calgary. Raise a ton of money for charity for that event, and the fans really come out for that one. Yeah, it's a great event.
I've had a blast at that thing.
But I don't know if you were part of this story, but Colton Ost, I was talking to him the other day, and he said there was a real intimate moment in a locker room with your boy Mike Weir getting a golf lesson.
Oh boy.
From a Tom Watson. Were you in there? And if you were, how did you not stop this?
Butchie was not there. Butchie was not
there.
Where
was that?
What happened?
It was like some sort of little skins thing out. There was a Corn Ferry event out east, and they had Watson and I there doing like a clinic. And
what year is this? Like
ballpark? This would be 2012.
Okay.
Something like that. And so anyways, we're getting cleaned up for like the function after, and we're in there brushing our teeth, giving a little shave on our towels. And I asked Watson a question about his golf swing, because he's so consistent. Next thing you know, he's in the towels. He's telling me what he's doing. I'm standing there watching. I think Graham Dillette, Colt was there. I think they were trying to take video of Watson giving me a lesson in towels. Yeah.
Make sure the towel doesn't drop.
Exactly.
And the towels at our age now are right up above our tits, right? Because our bellies are not as skinny as we used to be.
Totally.
Where were you then, Brennan? Holy. Hey.
I don't know, but I wouldn't have been there long. I promise you that.
Oh, buddy. Well, Butchie, we so appreciate you, dude. I appreciate you stopping by, saying hello. It's the best part of the show.
Yeah.
I know you guys are a big part of each other's lives for a long time. So thank you for being here.
Thanks, Butchie.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Butchie.
Where is he? Look tanned, by the way. What have you been doing?
You know what? It's been nice here. I've been out practicing. The sun's been out here in Utah. Yeah.
He's like Magda. Nice. He's more tan than me, and that doesn't happen ever.
No.
I'm like an old leather
right,
bag.
see you, boys.
See you, Butchie.
See ya.
See you in a few weeks, Butchie.
Appreciate it. Mike, I got one more question. I got a couple more, but there was a tournament, a skins game, Predator Ridge.
Yep.
Where I got a place. Beautiful golf course.
Yeah.
And I don't know what year it was. I got to look through my notes here, but it was 2000. It was a par 3, 166 yards.
Yep.
It's
I
you
know
and
where
Phil.
you're going. Yep.
You and Phil, Freddie Couples, and who was the other guy?
Is it Norman? Greg Norman, maybe?
And it was Couples.
Oh, Couples.
Couples. You guys switch hands. You reverse hands.
We did.
Everyone tees off. So he's now right-handed, him and Phil.
Yeah.
Couples and Garcia are left-handed.
Yeah.
Everyone hits the green.
Yeah. We all hit good shots. That was crazy.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it was like, I think we had it was the skins game, and I think we had tied 3 or 4 holes in a row. I don't know who brought up, may have been Phil or something, said, look, no one's winning a hole here. Let's
yeah,
switch. Let's try
switch it
something
up
here.
here,
Let's
yeah.
try something. And I think maybe Sergio maybe won the hole. Like, I don't know
It
if
was
he,
Phil, actually.
Was it Phil? Won the hole?
25 grand.
Was it 25? He won the hole. So it was smart on him to make the call to
Oh,
try
yeah.
to switch. But it was
Jedi
fun.
mind trick.
It was fun. It was fun. You know, those Canadian skins games were great.
Yeah, that
They were
course.
really
You like that course?
I like that course. Yeah, I've been up there a few times. Got some good buddies up there in
Yeah.
Okanagan, and when I go out there in the summer, yeah, definitely go over there and play.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
is your favorite course that you play? I mean, there's so many. I mean,
So
Pebble,
many. The Monterey
Mirabel.
Peninsula. The Monterey Peninsula is my favorite.
Yeah.
You know,
What's
down
this
there.
picture?
Oh,
that
Foster
was
and Jordan.
yeah, that was the Canadian Open. On the Monday, I used to have a charity tournament at the Canadian Open, and got MJ Costner came.
No big deal.
So MJ was a member here at Glenwild up in Park City, and he and Kenny Wan, who's now the director of golf at Grove 23.
Right.
They were up there, and I got telling them about this charity tournament, and they're like, "We'll come up, Weirzy." I said, "Okay, that'd be great."
Okay, yeah.
So,
Ding
Remember you
dong.
said that.
so
Oh, yeah.
the boys came
supply
up,
the cigars,
boys
they'll
came
come.
up, and yeah, had a great time.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Have you been to Grove 23?
Yeah, a couple times. Yeah.
Like it? I
Yeah.
have not been yet.
I
I've
do.
heard a lot
I do
about
like it. Yeah. Apparently, they just redid the
I heard that too.
course, and I heard good things. But yeah, it's a great spot. Yeah.
Okay.
Really
I heard
great
it's
spot.
wide. Well, I was told that because Jordan, it's Michael Jordan's golf course. I have no idea. I haven't been there. I've seen him once at Shadow Creek, but I heard the golf course is wide if you hit your tee shot about 260, and anything after that, because I think that's what he hits it about,
Yeah.
ballpark. And anything
260, that's it?
Well, you know what?
The big man?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I think
about
so.
right.
Yeah.
Really?
He kind of hits it flat. Gets some
like a
run on
marshmallow.
it. Gets some run on it. He chases it down there.
Wow.
And then
Yeah.
anything past that, I heard he gets a little tight. So
Really?
Yeah.
for his gambling games, I'm sure whoever he's playing.
Oh, wouldn't you
Yeah.
build a course to
Oh,
your
100%.
to your
Yeah,
own
right.
game?
There'd be no OB.
I gotta ask you. So you're a Canadian. I mean,
Yeah.
when you've been here since your BYU
Yeah,
days.
since
I mean,
88, 89.
What
yeah.
was your first thought when all of a sudden you hear hockey team, NHL hockey
Oh,
team?
man.
You've had hockey here for
Yeah.
a long, long time, but
Yeah.
you haven't had NHL. What went through your
totally.
mind?
I was so excited. It happened so fast, obviously, and I was so pumped. I heard my friend Chris Armstrong was going to be in charge of hockey operations, and I've known him from Canada for a long time. I said, "How can I get tickets right away? Like, put me in touch with whoever the ticket person is, because I want to get them." So yeah, very, very pumped, very excited. And you can tell everybody's kind of bought in here. The fans have bought in. And,
Did you know they'd buy in like they have? I mean, this is
I wasn't
ridiculous.
sure. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it would. It's exceeded my expectations. Yeah, I thought it might take a little bit longer,
Right.
but yeah, people really bought in, and everybody I talked to that knows I'm a hockey fan, like, "Hey, Mike, I go to the games, love it, loving hockey." It's interesting sitting in our section listening to the fans that are finally getting a little bit more educated.
Yeah.
Last year was pretty much shoot
Kinda new,
from,
yeah.
from center ice.
Shoot
Shoot
everything.
it, shoot it. And you're just like, okay, what's that? That's offside. This is icing. This is, and trying to explain that to our section a little bit. But now everybody's getting it.
Yeah. What are
Yeah.
your thoughts on the team itself? I know we
Yeah.
talked a lot yesterday about it. You're excited about all the youngsters, but
Yeah.
what do you love about this Mammoth team?
I love their grit. I love the way they fight, and they ran into a little tough patch, and then they get home here, and they've couple wins in a row, and just like tonight,
And now they're winning again.
Yeah, down 2 quick and fight back and get the lead, and I know that's the goal of the team, to make the playoffs. That'd be a
big.
thrill for everybody
Yeah.
to be a playoff team and see what we get there. We have a goalie that can shut the door any night, and so it's exciting. It's fun, to get these couple young guys locked up for long term and build around them in the future and keep adding the pieces as we go. I think sky's the limit for this team in the future.
How do you
Yeah,
know?
it's
How do you
exciting.
know Chris? What's your relationship with Chris? I had no
Chris-
idea.
Chris-
Unreal dude,
Yeah.
obviously, but I
Yeah.
had no idea you knew him.
IMG Canada. He worked. My brother was working at IMG, helping me out, and he worked as an intern under my brother Jim.
No way.
He did way back in the day, and see him come up the ranks in the
And
management
rise,
bid.
yeah.
Rise in the ranks, and then knew him when he was working with Tony Finau as an agent, and smart Orion to get him
Right.
over here with the team. So yeah, he's great, and so I've known him a long time.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, we got
yeah.
a little surprise
Oh,
here for you. I know
really?
your daughter's in the house.
Yes.
I mean, it's so great. You said she's the
know.
biggest hockey
She
fan
is.
on the planet,
She
right?
is.
What does she
She's,
love about it?
I know.
Besides everything.
She
Yeah,
Yeah,
get in
come on
there.
over here.
Get
She
in
loves
there.
that. Dad has tickets. She gets free tickets.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
That's always very nice.
Yeah.
It's my daughter Al.
Yeah. Hi, I just want to say hello.
Great.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes,
Welcome.
thanks for coming.
Welcome.
It's great to see you.
You got a Keller jersey on.
I do, yes.
Holy.
And the jerseys are sharp too.
They are. They're really good.
sharp.
But who's your favorite player, though, Al?
Sergachev.
Really?
Yeah, she loves
Wh-
Sergey.
Why?
I don't know. I just really liked him last season, and
Yeah.
He's a champion.
like
Yeah.
Yeah.
just became
He's a
my
winner
guy.
like
He's
your
your guy.
dad.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you. Absolutely. Welcome
Thanks
to
for
the show.
having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Enjoy. All right, we got a swag bag around here somewhere for you.
I saw a set of irons in the back there, some lefty irons.
Yeah, I
sitting
saw
back
you
there.
use
You can
that.
take those if
I was
you want
eyeballing
to.
those.
You couldn't help yourself,
I
eh?
couldn't.
He
No, I
sees
was-
a club,
I was
he goes
like,
right over there.
Are they gonna
He's-
have me swinging here? What's happening?
All right, here we go. So,
Oh,
welcome to the
awesome.
NASHCAST. Appreciate you.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah.
That's
Little-
great.
A few goodies in there, and
Thank you.
Some
and we-
ammo.
Yeah, and we.
Oh,
we
yes.
actually,
Just what you need.
I know-
Actually, yeah, they are special.
I
golf
know you
balls.
lose a lot of balls,
Yeah, tons
and you
of them.
usually play Kirkland, so we upgraded you here to some Pro Vs, and I hope we see these somewhere down
Let's
the
see.
line. But
Oh, that's fantastic.
yeah. Oh, you
Where are
need
my
some
glasses?
glasses.
Yeah, I was
eh?
gonna say, I was gonna
It's
go
a
like-
side profile of myself. It's a giant
Basically a
nose
big
on there.
nose.
That's awesome.
On that,
That's awesome.
basically. Oh yeah.
There you go. There it is.
Yeah. It's called
That's great.
Schnazimoto.
Yeah.
Schnazimoto.
If we
So
find these in the woods, you know,
Where's
Where's he
these?
hit one in the?
that's right.
He's gonna be
You know.
losing them on
Hey,
purpose.
these are winners. Actually, Gretz. It's funny because I played in this tournament with Gretz and Coop, right?
Yep.
Coach John Cooper.
Yeah.
Even those guys, all the money in the world, they still love free golf balls.
They do,
Because
yeah.
I give them a sleeve of
they're
balls, and
pumped.
they're using them on the first tee. I'm like, freeze for me. That's my favorite effort. So, thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you for
Thanks,
coming to the
Tyson.
show.
Appreciate
Thank
it,
you for
man.
coming
Yeah,
to the show. We
enjoyed it.
actually
Anytime.
have
It's a treat.
Nice
a little
guy.
trophy.
Yeah, it was great.
Come on, man.
Thank you.
Awesome.
There's also
Thank you.
a little trophy
Oh,
for
yeah.
you here. Guest of the night.
Hey, I haven't won
There
a
you
trophy in
go.
a while. I haven't won one in a while. I'll take it. It's been too long. Take anything I can get.
I
Thank you.
love it. Well, thank you.
That's awesome.
Appreciate you.
That was
and-
fun, guys.
And thanks for the comeback.
Yeah.
You're the good luck charm tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks.
sure.
Thanks.
2-0.
Appreciate it.
Great, too.
Yeah.
Well, folks, that did not disappoint. I wish you were there front and center with me. Mike Commodore was with me, a huge golfer. He's also a Canadian. He was equally as excited and nervous. I mean, you're doing a big time guest, right? A green jacket guy. If you're a golfer and you're sitting there with a former Masters champion right next to you, you're amongst greatness. Being a Canadian, it was just so cool. And I cannot wait. We're going to get out on the links there in Salt Lake together. I'm going to absolutely drum Weirzy. I'm hoping, another lefty. I went from lefty to righty, so I know he's going to be chirping me, but I don't think he's ready for my chirping. I don't think he's ever experienced that, right? Like you're a golfer. I don't think golfers really kind of do that, but he's going to get an earful when we play each other. So it's good. It's on, folks. I hope everyone enjoyed it. It was unbelievable. How about his story about Tiger Woods putting the green jacket on him and whispering in his ear, "You're never going to beat me again. I'm going to take you down." And Weirzy's doing the opposite. He's like, "You suck. I destroyed you anytime." Like just all the good stuff, right? It's just so funny. But it's
good.
Tiger freaking Woods, Like, how cool is that? You know you've made it when that happens.
I wonder, like, what would golf look like if professionals golf the way we did, like chirping each other on the course, like, "Oh, nice putt, hit it with it first next time," or something like that, right? Like, how electric would that be if guys were just giving it to each other like they do in hockey in between the benches?
Oh, dude, like I think I could be on tour then if that was the case. Hey, Weirzy, you throw a marshmallow 250 yards down the fairway, take the head cover off. Like, I would absolutely love it. I would pay to see it. They should have like an X-rated version of it or an R-rated version. We don't need those guys topless, but R-rated version. Of
NASHCAST
golf.
version of a NASHCAST version of the tour.
Well, I guess that would be like the sandbagger. I don't know
What
if
do
you've
you
seen
think?
Spittin' Chicklets.
I'm terrible at golf. Like I love to golf, but I suck. I've never broken 90 before. That's my goal this summer. I'm just gonna play Rose Park over and over again. If you live in Utah,
Is that a par 3?
It might as well be. Like we're driving fairways and stuff. You can miss or driving greens. You can miss wherever. It's fantastic. I love it. It's where Tony Finau grew up playing at Rose Park, actually. But
No big deal.
But like I suck. If I played around with Mike Weir as my caddy, and say I normally shoot like a 95, what do you think? How many strokes do you think he could take off my game just by being my caddy for a round? Like I bet it's like 8 strokes he could take off.
I don't think you're wrong. And I say that because yesterday I played at Whisper Rock, again, one of the best courses in America. It's the best hang on the planet, right? But we had caddies, and I don't know if you have to or we just got them, but we got these caddies and they were so dialed. I swear I was like 6 or 7, to your point, strokes better, because I got the driver out, right? I want to crush this thing. He's like, no. You hit a hybrid here. You lay up, whatever the case may be, right? And sure enough, I would have blown a driver right into the desert, right into the wash if you connect with one. Or a par 5, you're trying to go for it in 2. He's like, no, just lay up. There's a wash up there, like just the little details. And then reading I'm a decent putter, but reading the greens, especially when it's not your home course, I mean, it's automatic. I had maybe more. I bet I saved 10 strokes yesterday just because of it. So we were gambling a little bit. So yeah, I did well. Yeah, not a bad day for the Nash household yesterday. It was a ton of fun, but caddies are money, and Mike Weir, it doesn't get any better than Mike Weir. I was so excited. The interview went great. We almost had him on for a co-host for our next show against the Devils and the Jets. He wanted to come in. Unfortunately, he's going to be on the road getting his season started. So,
yeah. Well, we do have that NASHCAST Altcast coming up December 19th when the Mammoth are back home to take on the New Jersey Devils. That'll be a fun one with the Devils in town. Utah looking to get a little kind of mini homestand here before the holidays. And that's, I guess, as we're recording this, in 2 days' time? If this is coming out on Wednesday the 17th, we got it coming out on Friday, the NASHCAST Altcast with you. Tyson, you'll be back at the Delta Center. We'll be ripping it up with you after, I'm sure. But can't wait for that, my friend.
Can't wait. And thank you to, of course, Mike Weir for his time, generosity, coming up, having some laughs, busting some balls, and giving us some golf tips, most importantly. So thank you to him. I know he's a big Utah Mammoth fan. I know he's pumped up to see how the rest of the season is going to go. We're almost at the halfway point. So again, thank you to Mike, and make sure you guys follow along, subscribe. NASHCAST Official on YouTube, NASHCAST Official on Instagram and X as well. Foltz, as always, love you, buddy. Enjoy Boston, and bring home a few more points, would you?
I'll do what I can.